Dissecting Francis Stein podcast.
Welcome to another season of Dissecting Francis Stein, which is based off of my book, Introduction to Francis Stein by Patricia Bradshaw. And this is where we talk about all things Francis and whoever else is in the book. So I'd like for you, my panel to introduce themselves. We'll start with you.
Hello, I'm Valencia Ward, and I'm eager to get into this book today.
Already.
I'm Clyde Williams. I'm ready to do the same.
And I'm Latoya McClennan. I am your social science enthusiast.
Well, the way we're going to do it now is just a little bit different from before. So instead of me asking questions, I have the panel to ask questions. And we also want to get a male point of view with respect to all of this, because in our first season, we were just going off of what we thought as women. So today we're going to start something different. So who wants to go first?
All right, I'll take you through the arcs.
Well, come on then. I'm ready.
Okay, so I want to start with deception today.
Okay.
Topic. This is a focus of when Frances introduces herself to Godfrey and his daughter as someone other than who she really is. This was after the murders, after the conviction, after her being put into a psych ward and her escape. Just to quickly backtrack. Well, she got plastic surgery and she renewed her identity and introduced herself into Godfrey's lives. And I wanted to know, why didn't Godfrey recognize who Francis really was?
Because Godfrey was slow. Even from in the book, he was slow from the beginning. She chose Godfrey because for his body, not for his mind. And that's why she insisted on using just his mind for the whole project, because she was just hoping he could be a little more smarter. You know, they couldn't hold conversation. So you're asking a question like he was not slow.
Well, I'm saying even spending the time that he spent with Francis,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you didn't learn her at all to even notice even the smallest inclination of this. Maybe it's too much familiarity going on.
Well, the thing about it is he did learn her, but he was so slow that he didn't realize it was the same person, even after the constant reminders, because he had reminders. So you got to know he rode the slow bus. And yeah, he did. You did work. But from a man's point of view, what you think would be the reason why he didn't recognize that girl, Clyde? Recognize Francis.
In this situation, Francis is the predator. You know, she changed the way she looked. She probably changed her delivery. Probably, never talked the way she used to talk when he knew her in a familiar way. And he was the prey. So as the prey, he didn't get a chance to see who she really was. He didn't see it coming.
So you would say he was blindsided by, could have been blindsided by loneliness, attraction, guilt, or his own desire of believing what he was being told.
I mean, you could align with any of those, but I just feel like it was a part of her plan. And when you are just a part of somebody's plan, if it's playing the right way, you don't even know you in it.
Okay, we have to realize,
Yeah,
she wanted Godfrey for his body, not his mind, because he was a little doofus, and she wanted the man for his body. Each one of those people, she particularly picked out what she wanted, part of their DNA, and his was not smart.
No, it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you got something, Valencia? We can go further into.
Just really want to talk about the empathy. The girl had no empathy. So what do you feel like drove that? We read the book and we started from the beginning. She didn't really have a bad childhood. She was a selfish individual. And anything she wanted, she got it. It didn't matter what it was. Just look at everything that happened in the book. Anything she wanted, she got it. But she had no empathy. So what do you feel like drove that?
So empathy in that she couldn't walk in anyone else's shoes, right? To be able to feel what they felt.
Exactly.
Well, Francis didn't give a dang. it was like, I don't care how you
Just
feel.
a bad seed.
I don't care how you feel. Now, we can't keep on saying that over and over again because she might have been a bad seed, but still she had reasons. She had reasons. And she just didn't want to be involved. Put it like this. She probably had some empathy, but she didn't walk in it. Because she felt sorry for her father, even though she killed the person he was longing to see. She felt sorry for her father, but I'm not sure if she felt what he felt.
She didn't. She couldn't have.
But she felt what
When he died.
She felt it when her mother died. She felt that. She felt hurt because remember her dad was hurting from what's his name, Jonathan, being dead. Well, see, she never experienced giving a hoot about nobody dying. But when her mother was, and she knew she was the reason, but she didn't think about that. But anyway, yeah, it wasn't she had empathy. She had empathy because she was finally able to feel what somebody else was going through.
I don't think she felt that
I don't
with Jonathan because off top.
No, she wasn't going to feel it for
I'm
him.
gonna ever feel it. I don't care how cordial she was. It wasn't gonna never happen.
She wasn't going to feel it for none of them that she killed.
She did because she had one motive, and that was getting the particular parts of each one of those individuals that she needed.
Yeah.
The girl was thrown off. Let's just
yeah, she was thrown off, but she had reasons of being thrown off, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Well, that's what I was just asking, Trisha. I don't see her childhood being that traumatic for this wicked mind of hers to, develop into what it did.
Well,
She wasn't abused. She wasn't beaten. She wasn't. Well, maybe she felt neglected because she said they didn't treat her.
they didn't discipline her. She was not corrected in her thoughts. She was not corrected in her feelings.
There's a key right there.
She,
Right.
and then the thing is, she may not, I think there were some times when she demonstrated these type of tendencies, maybe when she was growing up, and some of the other little kids, you don't know what they experienced dealing with her. And I'm not going to say my thing, but I do know that children sometimes are driven by spiritual things that come and cause them to do stuff.
For sure.
And it really would take the hand of God to prevent it. And I know that from experience. Yeah.
Like when for example, a kid can see they can have their way with certain people, they're gonna tend to keep going that same route, which probably opened the door for her to be able to use people as tools through manipulation.
Yeah.
I don't know if you agree, but just to reach her goals, get what she wants,
Okay, well, I don't know. What you think? Because I know what I understand about her. I know that she is feeling justified in the things that she does. And also, it's something when you don't feel like you belong as a kid.
True.
When you don't feel like you belong and then you, like I said, they're not correcting her thinking. So then she's leading to her own behavior in a whole lot of things.
So
Everything.
are you saying some methods become a survival tactic because you feel alone?
Okay.
I don't know if y'all keep saying survival, but she wasn't trying to survive nothing. She was just living. And she was in the situation she was in, and she didn't need a defensive survival mechanism. No, she did not handle anger well. She did not. If you did something to her, she wasn't fixing. You could say, I'm sorry, but that sorry don't mean jack, because you did it. And that's my thing. And then really, you go to church every Sunday, but you did it. To me.
She's a narcissist.
Oh, well, just give me a definition. Give me a definition of narcissist. Come on, somebody. Come on.
That leads to the question I have, right? Like, you called it selfish. You say narcissist. And when I sit and I listen, I wonder if Frances had a God complex. Like, she changed her own image. She played judge and executioner to the people who harmed her in the past. And then she was obsessed with creating a life.
Oh, yeah. That's a thought. That's true. That's true. Yeah, God complex. Okay. Because I feel like Bill Gates got that. I think he got a God complex, you know? Yeah, I do. And I'll be glad when the real God handle up on that. Because it ain't but one, you know. Okay, y'all, that was good. So, B, what you was saying?
Okay, here we are. I want to give you the definition. A mental health condition characterized by passive patterns of grandiosity, excess need for admiration, and profound lack of empathy.
Well,
none.
Yeah, but if that's the definition of a narcissist, I don't see her as that. I mean, I might see her not having empathy, but all that other stuff I don't see. She's not trying to have no grandiose nothing. She just wants what she wants for herself after dating so many guys and they all do something. In her mind, it was like, come on now. It's got to be a way that I can build me a man. I'll take a little bit of blue, a little bit of red, a little bit of green, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of pink.
She was arrogant and everything.
I mean, the butler in the house, that kind of.
Okay, her announcing to her father she getting married in 2 weeks and she wanted like this and that, like that, and they she was well sick. She told God, "Forget you gonna get on your knee and propose to me."
That was funny, and he didn't want to propose. So all of his little behavior let me know. Just like Javier was right. He something was wrong about Godfrey, and even though he was slow, but even though he was her, object to put everything in, he was slow. He was very slow, and he had a little anger streak against Javier
because he built that connection though.
And what she did was, hey, I don't care how you feel. That ain't that. Yeah. And then when he told her, when she said, we got to get married because my daddy got to walk me down, he said, well, why don't we just go to the courthouse? She was like, the courthouse? My first wedding's supposed to be this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying?
So that's all grandiose. She had one man serving her and another man serving her.
But she paid them. Come on, we gonna show that in.
That's still grandiose.
She paid Javier and she paid Godfrey until she got married to Godfrey because Godfrey.
What does that have to do?
Well, I don't understand because if I pay somebody, they better do that. And what? If I pay somebody to do what I want them to do, then guess what? They better do what I want them to do.
But it still doesn't change the fact that
that is happening. It's not the behavior. It's not the fact that she wants them to do what she wants them to do. It's the fact that she's doing it.
Yeah, look how many lives she took. These people had lives. And I feel like...
But they jacked hers up.
No.
Yes, they did. No, ma'am. Each one of them jacked them up.
Ma'am.
I feel as though everybody played the game. They just didn't play the game the way that she wanted them to play the game.
Exactly.
How I feel.
Well, each relationship wasn't a game. Take for instance Jonathan. He wasn't a game. He was somebody that was real, but what he did broke her. Broke her. And then she didn't say, when he broke her, she didn't say, okay, I'm going to get you later. No, she didn't. What got her to get him later was his relationship with her father. And she was angry at her father because how you doing this? So, okay. And then when it comes to Justin wasn't no boyfriend. Justin was a classmate in college who took it upon himself to attack her. Okay. When he did that, she didn't say she did, but listen, it might be her. Why was it her fault that she got her shit?
She let it go. I didn't say it was her fault that she got raped, but she did nothing at the time. I can't speak for that because I haven't been in that situation.
Yeah.
But after all these years, that's why I said this stuff was premeditated.
It only became premeditated after she just felt like she was let down. She decided to build her house. That's when things began to be, the manipulation started for everybody. Okay. I don't think that she was just waiting all these years just to do that. No, she did not. And she did not. She didn't. What she did was remembered the good parts about them. She wanted to take the good parts and put them into one person because what the issue in her mind was, I need to make my own man who gonna treat me right. I don't have to worry about him raping me, cheating on me, doing all the other stuff, like you said.
But instead of taking the hair strand, DNA, the blood, she took
Instead of asking
body.
Instead of
but
getting
which
on a
one,
dating
though?
website, a bar, her office job, she went to make a man. That is,
Well, but yeah, because she was tired of going to the bar. She was tired. She didn't do the dating type, and if she did, she was tired because what she was tired of was giving people a chance and they hurt her. That's what she was tired of.
But there's another way to do that. Did she have to kill him to do that?
They had to pay for what they did.
See,
They had to pay for what they did.
this is probably my question for all women, because very much of being a man is take what happened and get over it. Why does life get to be different? Is there not a man who is equally smart with equal capabilities who could have went and grabbed 8 women and cut them up and put them together? But
Yes, they could
I
have.
was just saying, why does her life get to be that different? I'm tired of going to the bar. I'm tired of being on the website.
I'm just gonna kill him about
But she the only one that has sense enough to think about, let me make me a man up. Yeah, she the only one to make her man. Yeah, man. Yeah, they probably didn't go on and take it to go on.
Somebody bought that lady and somebody bought Francis a Mr. Potato Head and she took that lick. Because it's in the book. This is inside information, is breaking news. Mr. Potato Head started. Get shot out Bishop Rice.
Yeah. Oh, well, but yeah, so really that's what it is. It was like, shoot, why not? If I just get me a man, then I can go on with my life and live my life and be the famous whoever that I am.
And, she was so absorbed, Trisha, in her own self, her own feelings, her own everything, that she didn't realize, knowing how her daddy felt about Jonathan, that when it came to pass that the man had died or whatever, how that was going to affect her dad.
But her daddy didn't have no business being friends with her. That's why come she didn't feel nothing. Because if he hurt her, like I told you, it broke her. So she had went on with her life because first thing she tried to do was escape the place where he was in so she didn't have to see him no more. And she held on to that. And then when she went home and then she got to see him and find out that he all cutty with her daddy. No, that wasn't something that she was in agreement with. It was like,
let me ask you this. Did she really nitty gritty get with her daddy and say, Daddy, I don't fool with this man?
No, but when she found out, when she said, well, why you even got his phone number? You know what he did to me. So she broke it down to Daddy that I'm hurt because you're friends with this boy that hurt me. And then the daddy was like, well, you gotta forgive because if you don't forgive, you won't be forgiven. And that's understandable and that's true. However, in her mind, because like I said, she ain't grasped God. She had the God complex. That's it. Yeah. But she let him know. Now, being, I guess, normal, her father saw that, well, people do things wrong, but you got to forgive them. And I understand that. But she didn't have a forgiving bone in her body, just like her mama did. Even though she didn't know her mama, she was her mother's child. So
now that part kind of throws me because Francis's daddy is still alive. Was still alive.
Yeah.
He wrote, so her mother did kill him
because of her.
He had the baby.
She remember she was part black, so she was gonna go back to her home with her people, but she couldn't take that baby, and that's what she did. That's what she did, and that's the only reason why her dad was still alive. Now, okay, I can't go into the second, but no, the baby, that's all right. All right, Kai, you got some questions you want to talk about?
Javier.
Yeah, because I want to talk about Javier too.
With her doing everything, running behind her, doing all these.
I can't relate.
No, I mean, just in my opinion, he is necessary, and I'm sure there are people who probably can relate, but I can't. I can't relate to that.
But see, that, but it reminds me of okay, we're going to talk about men doing evil stuff and they got a spouse and their spouse is willing to do whatever they want them to do, or their girlfriend or whatever you need to be do, even though, you know, all the things you're doing are messed up. You still like riding and dying with that person. So that's the way Javier was with her. And she made that relationship into what it was. But my thing, even though I wrote the book, I still can't figure out how come he didn't run for his life after that first murder.
That would have been good.
What was the motivation?
To stay.
Well, no, I just, as far as that part, why he did it, there's always going to be a part of a man who feel like he the one man that's going to be different. Like, and maybe it was the dumb loyalty that, you know, made him feel like, hey, I ain't got no reason to run, but I can't understand. He wasn't getting a payoff. Like you said, spouse or girlfriend, significant other, he wasn't getting that payoff. He was in a servant mode, and whether he felt them ways about her, he wasn't, you know, getting rewarded in that way initially. And that's why I feel like, you know, I can't relate.
You can't relate.
He almost left. Remember, he
almost left. He did, but you know what? I came when she was gonna fire him, I would have left on my own. I wouldn't have rode with nobody because what my thinking was that if he got his butt in that car, he wasn't gonna his family wasn't gonna see him no more. Nobody was. It was just gonna be gone, you know. And then she gonna make up a lie about that.
Ain't about those steaks.
He say he say, you don't feed that to me, do you? Said, no, but you know, it's something about Javier, and it's different from all the other men, including her daddy. He didn't have no Bible verse. He didn't never throw no Bible verse in her face or break. He showed realness. And those other guys, they was all quoting Bibles like they was
gonna from line scripture.
Yeah, like they better and whatever, like they lived by what they were saying. But they weren't. They were just like every other religious person who's just religious and don't have a relationship, you know. And so I go to church and then my religion tells me this right here is in the scripture. I haven't read the whole Bible, but I read what the preacher tell me to read. And that's the one I'm going to recite whenever I be dealing with you. But then she recognized it as fake. She didn't have no respect for whoever, because she said, if this the God you serve and he got you doing this, I don't want him.
Yeah,
that was her mentality.
Firsthand.
And we got a lot of people in the earth who don't mess around with church folk for the same reason.
Yeah, that's it.
For the same reasons. You know, you preach, you gotta love God, but then you come over here and you actively pursue me and do what you want to me. But yet, and then I let you because I'm liking you on a physical level and not on a preacher level, you know. So, yeah. Clyde, what you think about that man who was the preacher man that she was involved with? He was her first kill. And she said when she killed him, she had to start with him because she needed to have a firm foundation. Oh boy!
Oh no! I don't know. I think about how. I mean, we ain't here to talk about whether it was right or wrong, but I was never mad at him getting gone. And you know, as far as like the men and the Bible verses, I think people forget that, you know, people use religion to control people. Yeah, that's it. You know, it's a tool of mass control when you think about it on a grander kind of scale. So I always thought that reading it in the book and seeing how they would present scriptures, but it's ultimately to get what they want. Just, you know, that's pretty much my only thought on it though. That's how I see it. And for him doing it that way, I wasn't ever mad that he got gone. I ain't mad at none of it. I know a man wouldn't get that, and I wondered, you know, dang, why shouldn't get straight to it? Like,
well, bitch, I really loved that boy too. I'm going back to Javier. I'm thinking she didn't know what love was because she had it all time right there. She really loved that man. When her husband and her husband went in the car after the funeral, and she was going through her little emotional stuff, and Javier, both of them told that they were there for her. She reached and got his hand first, and then she held her husband's hand.
And she didn't even know she really cared about, loved him like that.
So I think she was ever looking for love. Like, she wanted to make a companion. She wanted to make, somebody to beat her with her. He was probably going to be almost a servant, too.
She wanted someone to desire.
That. We never heard about that. Maybe she wasn't looking for love, just the perfect person for her.
Yeah, but she wanted love. She had been wanting love since forever. She wanted love.
Did she state that she wanted to be desired by her perfect?
No, because they all desired her already. She knew the desire, but what was missing was love. You want me, but you don't love me.
She was never set up in a way for her to see it. Like, her lack of empathy, her lack of accountability, I don't think it allowed her the space to do the self-work to be able to really just realize when you in a loving situation versus the way you manipulate other situations. So that, I think, is in her makeup.
Because she never saw it. Yep. Growing up, it was just her father and her father's family. He never showed another person around, for companionship to show love, to show her that type of love.
Well, when you talk about manipulating, but they all manipulated her, all of them. They manipulated her with that Bible verse. Yes, they did.
It's not said in like...
Huh?
It's not said in the tit for tat way. Again, it go back to the point of like the self work you got to be able to do to be able to see a loving situation or even be able to acknowledge that that's what you're missing. And so, granted, she may have been wrong first and she may have been responding, but again, outside of her, other people in the world got to respond differently.
She don't care nothing about nobody else. They don't. If it's up be her world, I know I found myself a lot of times saying, man, I wish I could buy an island and it be mine and nobody else on it except for who I want to be on it. It was that kind of mentality that she had. Now, she knew she couldn't, she probably could have got her an island, but what she got her was a large piece of land and made sure that it was just hers, and only people came were people that were invited to come, and she really didn't care about the outside. She went to work, she dealt with people how she had to, but then she was quick to retreat into her own space. She wasn't trying to make no friends. She didn't give a hoot. You notice she had one friend in college, which Justin was supposed to be the friend too, but he failed her. But Marilyn, it was her friend, and she don't see her having friends with nobody else in that book. In high school, when she was going with Jonathan, me and Jonathan, he was her world. She wasn't trying to have a bunch of girlfriends and whatnot like that. He was popular because he played football or whatever, but she wasn't in that world, that athletic world. She just wanted what she was giving him and what he was giving her. She felt that love, and that's what she wanted again, that she never got again.
So that term, that saying, if everybody was the same, what a boring world it would be, did not apply to her.
Well, she didn't think about that. She didn't think about that. She really didn't, because again, she was busy.
She was creating her own world.
Yeah, she was creating her own world. What her daddy was saying to my, what's the good news? Another accomplishment? Because her daddy felt like that's all she lived for was to accomplish stuff, Yeah. All right, y'all, come on. Shoot, let's get excited about something. Everybody was shaking their head talking about, I'm trying to say about like they contemplate on things. So give me some more questions, some ideas, some thoughts.
The need to be loved. Let's talk about that. We sit there talking. She did all those things. And to me, I keep going back to Javier because he loved her. And it was right there in her face. She just missed it. But she's desiring love from, I guess, maybe people that she couldn't get it from. Because even though her mama told her, stay away from these people, they don't want nothing to do with you. In other words, first thing she do is hurry up and run right over there to the people with the little baby, trying to be accepted. These people that she didn't know, she's never met, she's never experienced, didn't even know her mama was still here. But she had the yearning desire so hard to go over there and get these people acceptance and meet these people.
What she wanted,
Turn around and kill her mother.
she didn't think about acceptance. She thought about finding out about myself. Because remember, with her daddy, she didn't get that side of herself. All she got was his side of herself. And she felt like she didn't belong because it wasn't what she felt she was. So when she found out where they were, she didn't. I feel like her mama should have told her, baby, they don't like blacks and they'll kill you. That's what her mama should have told her, but she didn't. So when the girl went over there, she wasn't trying to want love from them. She wanted knowledge from them. She wanted to know who she was.
Mama was real. That was after she's told her mama don't darken her door no more. But how could you expect to learn more when you're not willing to get there? And there's right there with your mama.
But your mama ain't gonna do nothing but lie like she did all them years. Why her butt didn't come forth when I was a little girl, when I was a teenager, when I needed somebody? Why weren't you there? Why? Let me tell you something. How come you didn't forgive my father and stay and raise me and teach me?
Same way she didn't forgive Jonathan.
Exactly. Same thing. So
two peas in the pot.
2 peas in the pod, and they in hell together. 2 peas in the pod. Yeah. So yeah. What?
Clyde? What? That's right. I laughed.
That was funny.
Yeah.
I want to get into this spiritual possession. When the spirits of the deceased men
Start existing in Frances's thoughts and in her consciousness. Why didn't Frances realize something was wrong when she was answering her own questions and
all right,
the answers?
Okay, so we're gonna stop right here and we'll pick that up on the next episode. And pin it because I got that answer. All right, y'all. Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of Dissecting Frances Stein. If you haven't already gotten the book, get it. You can get it anywhere books are sold. Introduction of Frances Stein by Patricia Bradshaw. And when you read it, give me a review. Let me know your thoughts. So even better, reach out to me on Introduction of Frances Stein and on Instagram or Dissecting Frances Stein, which is also on Instagram. And you can put something in there. Give me a DM and ask a question, and we'll try to cover that on the show. So again, thank you for joining us. Until we meet again. The information contained in this podcast is for entertainment purposes and marketing purposes only. If you're a victim of sexual assault, please contact 800-656-4673. If you're a victim of any of the topics discussed in this podcast, please contact Victim Connect Resource Center, 1-855-484-2846. And if you are in immediate danger, call 911. We are not responsible for any loss or damage resulting from listening or participating in this podcast or reliance on its content. The views expressed in this podcast are my own and do not reflect the views of employers, organizations, or institutions of those participating in the podcast. All rights are reserved. Unauthorized use or reproduction of this content is prohibited. This content is for entertainment and marketing purposes only and does not constitute medical or psychological advice. Consult with a medical or mental health professional for any issues or concerns. This is a work of fiction. Any resemblance to actual persons or events is purely coincidental. And finally, last but not least, none of the participants of this podcast can be responsible for your use of the context, nor the information in or linked to this podcast.